Oh my god, that is a squirrel tomato. Right, don't ask me how I've done this, but I've somehow managed to balance. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, Jess, that's not for you. It looks disgusting at the moment. It's not really normal behaviour, is it? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're well, hope you've had a good week. I've realised I've made like a massive mistake because on my first YouTube video at the end I said I was going to talk to you about my squirrel tomatoes, and then I completely forgot and I just rambled on about my autumnal bunch, which by the way I hope you enjoyed. Thank you if you watched it. Today's episode, it is all about my squirrel tomatoes. What you need to know is I absolutely hate squirrels. Oh my god, they drive me insane. I think last year I planted up, I don't even know, like so many pots of bulbs. I planted loads for like Christmas presents for like my grandpa, for my mum, and every single one of them was dug up by a squirrel. I think I had one pot full of tulips, but other than that, they either dug up every single pot of bulbs or they knocked every single one off the table it was on and smashed the pots, and they all came out, and it was just a nightmare. So they literally are the bane of my life. They're also always like on my bird feeders trying to steal the food from the birds, which is annoying. So yes, they get on my nerves, I'm not gonna lie. But having said that, this year I have to be grateful to a squirrel, one particular squirrel. I don't know who he or she is, but last year I had a little cherry tomato plant. It was in like a big planter, and basically the squirrels would pick all these tomatoes thinking they were acorns and then go and plant them randomly in different places in the garden, like they do with their acorns, like make a little hole, bury the little tomato in it and like put it away for the winter. So randomly I'd like find in some of my pots and planters and raised beds like little cherry tomatoes just randomly buried. Kind of thought nothing of it. That was until this spring when I went outside the front of my house, and lo and behold, what did I see popping up out of the planter? Tomato plants. Here is a little throwback to the moment I found them. Oh my god, look at them.
Yeah, they are tomatoes.
There's hundreds of them. This is the planter that the squirrel tomatoes were found in. I've now since moved it to the back and put it in my shady plant area with a massive bamboo in it that I dug up from my grandpa's garden. But I've left one of the squirrel tomatoes just as an experiment to see what would happen. And look. I mean, what is going on? It is absolutely hilarious. Oh my god, it's got flowers on it. It's huge. Look how healthy it is. I mean, really, I should have dug it up and planted it, but I had so many. I ended up giving so many away because I was like, I just haven't got the space or the time. That is an original squirrel tomato. This is Jess, and she lives a few doors down, and we absolutely love her. Basically, at the beginning of lockdown, oh, she wants to get down. Hang on, let me put her down. Ooh, hang on, you're going down. There we go. Basically, at the beginning of lockdown, she came into our garden. We've got this rubbish little pond. It's not even a pond, it's like a hole. It's weird. And she'd just sit there, and I was like, is she okay? So we started putting out like a little bowl of water for her, and she'd come every single day and she'd start like drinking up this water. And then basically one thing led to another, and now she's like our best friend. And so it's like we've got a cat, but we haven't got a cat. She just comes for like the occasional visit, and randomly we'll like go in our kitchen, try and steal some food. A couple of times she's stolen my boyfriend's chocolate muffins, which is a nightmare. But anyway, oh look, she's gone inside again, exactly. So she's probably gone to steal some of the chicken we've had for lunch. But anyway, I love her. Jess. Jess. Come on, come out of there. So it's really funny. I obviously call them squirrel tomatoes because I had no idea what type of tomato they were. I literally didn't have a clue. I had no idea if they were a cordon or a trailing. I think they're the two types. I'm not sure. I think the cordon ones are like the big fat ones, trailing are like cherry tomatoes. Something like that anyway. And obviously when it started growing, I was like, ah, trailing, I think. And so then I could kind of like identify it. Here's one of my little labels. My little squirrel tomatoes each had one of these in them. The tomatoes are actually now over. They've all basically been stripped bare of their tomatoes, and they've all got blight, which means they're all basically dead, and I need to sort them all out. But I thought I'd just leave them just to show you how they work, because, you know, what a vision. I mean, it's literally just started to pour with rain. So you might only get half a YouTube video today. At what point do I stop? Do I carry on? Why do you never get one on your tongue though? I sometimes wonder if the neighbours just see me out here, you know, like with my tongue out, trying to catch rain, what they think. It's not really normal behaviour, is it? I think probably at this stage I should go in, not so much because of me, because I don't mind getting wet. It doesn't bother me, but it's more the camera. And the camera was, I mean, it wasn't really expensive, but it was a bit expensive and I don't really want it to get damaged. So I might have to continue this when it's not absolutely pissing it down. Sorry. And I'm back. Oh my God, what a palaver. Much nicer day today though. Where was I? Squirrel tomatoes. These are the squirrel tomatoes. So they are tomato ildi and they're like this little pear-shaped little yellow tomato. But of course, in the process of growing the little yellow tomatoes, loads of them got knocked off by the wind, by storms, by squirrels as well. And that is why I've got this massive bowl of green tomatoes. There are so many, I mean, look at these. These aren't actually squirrel tomatoes, these are just other random ones. I mean, what is that? So I thought I would make some squirrel tomato chutney. Can we just talk about this little thing? It's like a little face of a duck. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. So these aren't actually squirrel tomatoes, as you can see, but I will really need to bulk out my squirrel tomato chutney. And these ones, I mean, they're just not ripening. There's Jess. I'm going to turn those green tomatoes into some delicious squirrel tomato chutney. So I've set this up in a very like Nigella sort of way, haven't I? I was going to try and do it properly and follow a recipe, and then I thought, well, I wouldn't do that in real life because I'm really lazy and I can't be bothered. So this is my squirrel tomato chutney recipe that I'm literally making up as I go along. So here is some dark brown sugar. I've got some raisins. I think I've actually got more raisins than I have green tomatoes. The green tomatoes, obviously. Can I just say, these are not the squirrel tomatoes. They're all the squirrel tomatoes underneath. Their thunder is being stolen by the big fat ones that are on top. If I haven't got enough green tomatoes, I might use a few of these. A random assortment of spices, which I'm not even sure I mean, do you put cinnamon in chutney? Whatever. I'm gonna try. Sarson's pickling vinegar, which is just the best stuff ever. I think it's spiced. Yeah, ready and spiced. Some onions. I've gone for a red and a white. Spice it up a little bit. This is a fake Le Creuset dish because I can't afford the actual Le Creuset dishes because they're really expensive. Anyway, it is time to make the chutney. You won't believe this, guys, but it's just started pouring with rain. Just as I was about to make the squirrel tomato chutney, and I've got all my ingredients out and ready, and I've laid them all out like Nigella. Ugh, what am I gonna do? Well, you're just gonna have to see me make wet chutney. It'll be like wet squirrel tomato chutney. Right, don't ask me how I've done this, but I've somehow managed to balance. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I didn't manage to balance. I have now managed to balance the umbrella on top of the washing line. That's what I was trying to say before and then it fell off. I've actually pegged it to the washing line now. So it's protecting the camera, not me. I've only got one umbrella. What can you do? Right, I'm going to go quickly because it is literally pouring. So these are my green tomatoes. I'm going to cut them up and I'm going to whack them in there. Go. It looks disgusting at the moment. I mean, that is normal. And I think also I've probably overfilled it. Don't quite know how I'm gonna get that from the garden to the kitchen without dropping it everywhere. This is my other favourite bit of the process. Put my little bowl of rubbish in the compost. I absolutely love my compost heap. I'll do a whole separate video on my compost heap because I love it so much. No, Jess, that's not for you. No, no. Okay, so I've put my chutney on the hob now. This pan looks revolting, but it's just all the cinnamon that I went a bit wild with a minute ago. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave that now to simmer for a few hours and I'll check back on it in a bit. I just thought I'd give you a little halfway through update. It's been bubbling away now for about a couple of hours. Oh my God. Ooh, chutney. It's a lot of raisins. I love it, by the way, how the raisins like puff up. They're like grapes again. Just gonna leave it for a couple more hours now. It kind of needs to go a lot like sludgier. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it for a little bit longer. Chutney's been boiling away now for quite a few hours. Yes! Just want to give it, oh God, it sounds a bit like it's caught on the bottom. But I'm just going to turn it right down because I think it's ready to put into jars. Because I'm all about using what I have and not having to like buy new all the time, I'm obviously going to use two pasta sauce jars that I soak the labels off of. You basically just soak them in really hot water, a bit of washing up liquid, and then this is just like a little Kilner jar that I had left over. So basically you need to sterilise them just to make sure they're like 100% clean, there's no like bacteria and germs or whatever in them. The Kilner jars, if you're using like this, oh God, what a nightmare. If you're using a Kilner jar, take off the rubber, I don't know what this is called, I mean the rubber band thingy, the seal, that's what it's called. Take the seal off, just put it in really, really hot water. I think boiling water is okay, I'm not sure, but just like really, really hot water, maybe like once the kettle is just boiled. So what I'm gonna do, pop these in this dish and then just pop them into a low oven, and I've just put mine at like 100 for like 20 minutes to sterilise them. While my jars are just sterilising, I just wanted to show you this. So this was a little stamp I had made last year. Emma's Garden Chutney. I was going to get one made that said squirrel tomato chutney, and then I thought, well, that's a bit stupid really, because I'm only really going to be able to use it this year, because who knows if I'll get squirrel tomatoes next year. I love it because I'll literally be able to use it for the rest of my life. You have to press quite firmly. It's very creaky. It's actually really hard to line it up, and it's going to be especially hard doing this one-handed, so let's see what happens here. Come on, get off. It couldn't really be more wonky. It is ready, and I think the jar's about ready now as well. They've been in about 20 minutes, so they should be sterilised, so I'm going to get them out and ladle the hot chutney into the jars. It is honestly sod's law. You never make the right amount of chutney for the jars that you have. It's such a nightmare. I really thought I was going to fill 3 jars perfectly then, and I only managed to fill 2. So I've had to scrape a bit out of the other 2 to fill the 3rd one as well. But there it is. I mean, what an absolute mess. I'm going to get a damp cloth in a minute and just wipe around the edges, wipe them all down, because otherwise they'll be like a sticky nightmare. If you want them to keep, you then have to seal them with a little seal thing. You can buy them in like DIY shops. But if you're going to eat it immediately, then you don't need to worry as much, because obviously as soon as it's open, you'll just keep it in the fridge anyway. And I know that I'll eat this immediately because I'm going to give one to my mum and dad and give one to my grandpa. Okay, so once again, I'm going to try and do this one-handed, which is always a nightmare. My grandpa would really shout at me as well if it's not straight. Bloody hell. I've only gone and absolutely nailed it. I bought these little felt acorns last year for Christmas decorations. I absolutely love them, they're so sweet. The top is like an actual bit of an acorn, and I thought they would be perfect for my squirrel tomato chutney. So there it is, my squirrel tomato chutney, complete with a platter. Crackers, cheese, apple that's gone a bit brown, even a few walnuts in there, and of course the squirrel tomatoes. I feel like I can't really end this video without trying it. I've got to try it, haven't I? Especially because I made the recipe up and just put a bit of everything in. So here we go, I'm going to try it. Oh no, what a nightmare. Oh, there we go, yay. smells nice. Okay. That's really good. Guys, I'm really proud of that. That's actually really nice. I'm getting a lot of vinegar. It's like tangy. Sorry, I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. Gross. I'm really paranoid now. I've got chutney in my teeth. Am I okay? I think it's all good. Well, I feel like the chutney was an absolute success, despite the fact that I completely made it up. Also, can we talk about my tiny spoon? Do you like it? It's so nice, isn't it? Thank you so much for watching this episode of my Bonkers YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed watching me make my squirrel tomato chutney in the rain, and I hope it inspires you to maybe make some of your own. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to. See you soon.